just reading just this week about Noah's flood and God judging the whole world and only found one man righteous. And then he tells them what to do to prepare for judgment. How did judgment come? One of the three ways that God judges nations: inclement weather. I could go there, but you've seen it. The only problem is nobody calls it judgment. Look at God deals with Israel. When Joseph was over in Potiphar's house, look, why did God judge? They were under judgment, but one man had a revelation of how to prepare for judgment. Your relationship with God is the only thing that can save you in a day of decline like this. If you have been singing up a storm tonight, and you run right back upstairs and live your life at the level you presently living it, knowing that you're saved from hell, but you need to grow, to that degree, you're going to have to face God and deal with it. What's the other way that God deals with nations? He makes other nations stronger than them. Guess who's stronger than us? Terrorists. That's why you have General Borkin coming over here all the time talking to you about the Muslim Brotherhood. But let me tell you something. If you and I don't change, you can have all the natural preparation you want. But the reason that the devil has any access through the Muslim Brotherhood, look, you can talk about them in the natural if you want, but these are evil spirits working behind. That's Abraham's children under Ishmael. It's the product of a man who was fleshly. The devil told Sarah to say that to Abraham, go ahead on in there with your maid. And it was Abraham that was good ground for a devil said. The same as Adam. I'm screaming at your honor. I should be much more dignified in how I'm talking to you. I declare, I mean, wow, boy, I should be nicer, huh? Do you understand what I'm saying? Adam, what are you doing? I mean, what are you doing, Abraham? Going in there with your... What are you doing? You know that wasn't right. Down inside of you, you knew that wasn't right. You did it anyway. So now, guess what? You're a product of the serpent. Because the lust of their flesh, and you shall return, and thus shalt thou eat. That's flesh. The devil lives off of Christians who live underneath the level of their birthright. He couldn't keep you from getting saved. Now what he tries to do is to keep you carnal. Disrespect authority. Read the Bible when you want. Pray every now and then. Don't make character a primary way of living. See? So what happens? You're challenged by the circumstances of life. But guess what? You run to someone else to say, what's God saying? Could you pray for me? Could you give me a prayer? Is there a word God told you? Why? Because you have not gone into the prayer closet and consummated a real relationship with God in the closet of total surrender. So you want somebody else's relationship to help you out because you refuse to go in there with God. You can go to a movie and stay in there for hours. You can play golf for 4.5 hours. You can go to a football game. You can tailgate for 2.5 hours before the football game. Go to the football game for 3.5 hours. You can get gridlocked in the parking lot leaving the football game, and yet still you can't stay in church hardly an hour. You think that God is raising up somebody like that to be heirs of God and joint heirs with Jesus Christ? You think that God's going to turn over the eternity to you? No way. I'm going to be clear about it. No way. He'd have to go against his own nature to do that. See? Now, let me tell you where I am. Now, I'm scheduled to come on here in February, too. See? I'm on the schedule. So this one is just me like going out. I'm just following the Lord right now. So my wife is just going off to be with God. So I'm screaming at you right now. But look, I'm just getting started in this. I'm screaming. See? And I'm telling you the truth because there's too much compromise going on right now. There's too much circumlocuting going on. If you don't get right with God, and get out of this faking stuff, you are going to get caught up not only in the judgment that's going to come down, which you can't fend off. There's no redress against God. You ever rebuke the devil and your circumstances continued? Bad things continue to happen, and you wasn't seemingly getting them off of you? Because it may not have been the devil. It may have been God. And you're rebuking, and you don't know you're rebuking God because your behavior is what he's dealing with. Your secret sins, your secret life. You're lying on the job. You're staying mad at your husband. You're talking to your wife in an unfavorable way. All the stuff that has turned your children off from Christianity. Your secret life, pornography, looking on the internet at everything you could think about looking at and enjoying all that debauchery. What? God isn't there? And then you come to church and you're shouting, oh yeah, you got the shout going on. You about to get slammed. Why? Because you're a counterfeit Christian. And you know what? You hate that when you really see that in others. But the first place you got to hate that is in yourselves. Having these promises, dearly beloved, I'm still at verse 1, 2 Corinthians 7. Having these promises, dear beloved, let us cleanse ourselves. Guess what? Nobody can cleanse you. See, at a certain level, you don't, look, when a child is a baby, you wash your children up. But as they grow, guess what you do? You tell them, go brush your teeth, go in the bathroom, clean yourself up. And as you grow more, now what would you look like? You know, you washing like you're a 15-year-old teenager and you're their mama. And they say, go strip, come on, we got to take a shower. And you're doing them like you did them when they were like 1. They would call you a pervert. Why? Because they had to be responsible for themselves. That's what he's saying to the most carnal church in the New Testament was the Corinthian church. He says, having therefore these promises, and he was referring to the previous verses that I just read to you. Why are you confusing what Christianity should look like? Why are you hanging with unbelievers? Why are you enjoying the company of sinners? See? And there are some of you that not only enjoy the company of sinners, you do what they do. Alcohol is terrible. It clears blood cells. I was an alcoholism therapist. I know that dulling effect that happens to a person, that when they drink and they start feeling a little dull, you know, and you're saying you're just wetting your palate, getting it ready so you can have a good dinner. And you feel you're almost not quite happy, just feel a little more like eating, you understand? You just killed some brain cells. You know what? You can't afford it. Because you're not that smart anyway. You should have saved all of those. There's no doubt about it. See, so some things we play with. I know historically there have been great men of God who smoked pipes and smoked cigars and do all these kind of things. But look, the judgment that's going to come on some of these major companies for making tobacco and promoting it, we know it causes cancer. We're not guessing about it. We know the number one drug in the world is alcohol. We are the biggest sellers and promoters of that. And we justify, well, Jesus drank wine. He didn't drink it for the same reason you drink it, knucklehead. You are not in the prayer closet, and you are feeling the pressure of your fleshly lifestyle, and you're drinking a little bit of wine because it relaxes you. Why? Because the prayer in the closet with God doesn't relax you the same way. Because why? You're a counterfeit Christian. You are not really getting in private the substance of the reality of God in your life. So you use the substitutes that the world provides for you, and you pay for them. Give me that offering on over here and quit paying the world for all that debauchery. Amen. Preach, Bishop. Tell them the truth. Yeah. Don't worry, I just preach. Look, I'm telling you the truth. I'm not compromising. See? And so here it is. See, he that hath, more shall be given. See, for those of us who know prophecy, for those of us who go after God, those of us who see God, we got to have it strong. Because you had a young man get up here and say, Lord, do something different, God. We want something to happen that's never happened. He's talking about serving God for his hands. See, it may be that you are looking for God to give you a Christian stage show. You want to see the works of God. And God says, I want you to do them. You're still looking for them. And every person who gets changed do not primarily get changed into the intimacy they have with God, not with group sex. Your transformation, look, is confirmed in a meeting, but you're transformed in private.
Amen.
You got to get out of just looking for something to happen in public meetings and look for something to happen when you go in prayer with God. When you really get in with God and he really does touch you and transform your life, you love it like nothing else.